All right, everyone. So we're going to start going over the game plan for the week ahead. Happy Memorial Day. I hope you guys have had a great day, a great long weekend. So the market's been, of course, closed today, Monday, in observance of Memorial Day, but we'll be back at it tomorrow morning. So Tuesday morning. So this week is going to be a little bit of a short week, a 4-day week. So we'll have to make the most of it. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look back, as I usually do, before we take a look forward at the week ahead. So for the last week, overall trading in May has been acceptable, decent. I did have a few more red days than I might have preferred. These 2 red days clustered here and then 2 red days clustered here. That meant the second week was basically a flat week, but had some profit from the first week, the third week, and the fourth week. And so now we go into the last week of the month of May. And summer is officially here because, well, summer starts after Memorial Day. So now we're getting into summer trading. So what does that mean? What are the expectations? What's the goal for summer? For me, I always come in with an expectation that summer will be a little slower relative to the rest of the year. But in reality, that's not always been the case for me. September is typically a slow month, and thank you. And August and September are typically slow months, but June and July, they can be great months. And especially, I don't know, I think that trading during the summer is really popular among a certain group of people, teachers, things like that, who, wouldn't ordinarily be able to trade the rest of the year, but during the summer, well, a couple hours a day to trade in the morning, they appreciate that. So in some ways, I think there could even be more traders in the market during the summer, but I don't know for sure. In any case, so this was where we sort of sit here for the month of May, 42,000, as you could see right there. And the theme, without a doubt, has been these lower priced stocks. And this was another one, Lucy, on Friday, that went from under 20 cents a share all the way up to over $1 for a 428% return. Now, as I've said a number of times, I'm not really good at trading these. And the reason that I'm not really good at trading these is because typically they're not super clean on the 1-minute chart. And I'm really a 1-minute trader. So here's the issue. So because I focus on trading on the 1-minute time frame, I'm looking for these really quick breakouts. I want to get in, I want to get out, I want to book some profit. Trading on the 5-minute time frame requires a level of patience that I feel like I just don't possess. You have to be able to get in, to sort of set your stop and let it work. And just so for instance, when we're looking at these 5-minute time frames, we'll often look back and be like, wow, that was so clean. A couple green candles, a little pullback, and then another move back up, like super, just perfect almost. But you zoom in on the 1-minute and you'll realize that inside these candles, it was a whipsaw where we got the pop up, the drop back down, and that creates a lot of opportunity for a trader like myself to overtrade, get stuck, and end up making mistakes. And that's usually what ends up happening on these low price stocks. I get in thinking and hoping that we're going to have almost instant resolution breakout. And although maybe it grinds a little higher, it ends up being choppy. Now, looking at the 1-minute chart on Lucy from Friday, we have a nice move up there, a little pullback, another move up. Ask your brother. Little pullback. We push a little higher. We go into a little stair step down, and then we kind of rallied up here. Yeah, bud. No, that's connected there, and it won't work if it's not plugged in. So then it pushes a little higher, pulls back, pushes higher, pulls back. But these topping tails, anytime you see these kind of topping tails, you know that the price is getting pushed up and then getting, squeezed back down. So topping tails like this are bearish. Bottoming tails are bullish. You'll often hear me say, well, you could take that off. I see you took it off. I don't know if it was really an accident, but I wouldn't unplug it, because if you unplug it, then it just won't work at all. But that's your choice to make. The bottoming tails, however, I do like, because a bottoming tail is bullish. Well, here's an area where we have some bottoming tails. This is an area where we have support and we have demand. People are buying. It flushes down and it gets bought back up. It flushes down, it gets bought back up. Flushes down, gets bought back up. And that often, ends up showing clearly we have support here, demand, and then that results in a move higher. But unfortunately on these lower price stocks, I just end up over trading. I churn a bunch of fees and commissions, and I don't have a lot to show for it. And in fact, oh, by the way, so we do have our Memorial Day sales going on at Warrior Trading right now. If you haven't already checked them out, if you've been thinking about becoming a Warrior Pro member, this is a great time to get started because this is our Memorial Day sale that sort of starts the beginning of the summer. So get the summer off to a great start, become a member of the community, and trade side by side with me. So your expectation of me for this summer is that I'll be trading every single day. I don't have any trips planned for this summer. Last summer, I was in Italy for about a month, but I still traded every single day. So I show up every day, rain or shine. Okay, apart from the occasional concussion or, if I lost my hand in a crazy accident. But as long as that doesn't happen, I'll be here every day. So anyways, check out the Memorial Day sales if you haven't already. We've got special bundles on our Warrior Pro, which is our flagship course, but you can see it on the Warrior Starter as well. So I was mentioning on Friday that my fees and commissions were going to be really high. And some people were like, I don't really get this. Why are you going to have, Robinhood, Thinkorswim, these are all commission-free brokers. And holy smokes, look at that. $786 in fees and commissions on Friday. Well, I traded 200,000 shares. 200,000 shares times 0.003, $600 in fees and commissions. So the broker that I use charges a fee, and it's a per share fee to route my orders the way I choose. So I pay for that choice. At Thinkorswim and with Robinhood, the orders get routed in the way that's most beneficial to the broker, which is the payment for order flow structure. And so, you get a little bit of a different order execution than what I get. Now, when it comes to trading low price stocks, you definitely have an advantage using Robinhood or Thinkorswim that I don't have. And so much so that I would consider using a Thinkorswim account just for that. The one thing, just to be transparent, that is a little challenge for me is that when I started my small account challenge with $583.15 and began growing it, of course, I had all of those trading records audited. So I each year pay an accountant to audit my records, and they charge me based on each statement they're auditing. So I have 24 statements for most years if I have two accounts that they're checking, and that costs $24,000. Actually, let's see. This last year was $24,000 for 12 statements. So it's $2,000 per statement because I just have one account that I'm trading in right now. So if I start trading in two accounts, then I'm going to go up to $48,000 for my annual audit. And, it's just like a logistical thing to me that it just feels like it's kind of a pain. But part of my commitment to you is that if I'm going to be actively day trading and it's part of this challenge, then I'm going to have the results audited so you can see them. Anyways, so that's kind of like a personal reason that I've been reluctant to set up an account at Thinkorswim that I use, but maybe I will at some point, and I'll see whether or not I like it enough to, go through the whole thing. But anyways, I don't know where the rest of those are. But if you look at the side of the fridge, there's some on the side of the refrigerator. So anyways, so on Friday, now, and I also, oh yeah, no, I do remember that happening. Yeah, that was super annoying. Anyways, doesn't matter. So all that was to say that I was churning a lot of commissions on Friday, trading these lower price stocks. So it's not my preference to trade this price range, but I recognize that that's what's been in play. ONMD was the one that I traded on Friday, and I did fairly well on it, but I churned a lot of commissions on it because it's a little cheaper. So anyways, so AKAN on Friday, this is another strong one. But I think the reality is, as we look at the week ahead, we're going to have to continue to contend with low price stocks being popular. 912 million shares on Lucy. That's a ton of volume. So that was our number one highest volume stock yesterday. And, the people that probably did the best on it were people who just walked away from their computer and looked and are like, oh, I'm up. The problem for me is that that's never the way I've traded. I have a relationship with trading that each day I have this goal of getting in, getting out, trying to be consistent, generate profit. And I come from that place because when I started trading, I was trading for income. I was trading like that was my only job. I didn't have a secondary source of income. So I needed to be very consistent. That's how I felt. Like I couldn't afford to be speculative and just hold a position and kind of let it roll. I feel like people that have more money or that have alternative sources of income can be a little more speculative, and sometimes they can benefit from that. But that's just not the mentality or the relationship that I have with trading. So, this is 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 years right here of trading records. And, like I said, for the most part, I'm just focusing on trying to be consistent. So sometimes I'll look at stocks like this and think I should have just bought, 50,000 shares down here. It's not like it's even a lot of money at 20 cents. I'd be up 50 grand up here. And it's just really hard for me to think like that with trading because it's not the relationship that I've had. But at the same time, I've recognized that we've seen a lot of these low price stocks that just keep going and going. So it's certainly something to keep an eye on for the week ahead. Those of you who have, I keep seeing people who post like, oh yeah, I bought at $1 and sold at $2. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. It's not a day trade, if you hold for a couple days, but that's awesome. Good for you for locking that up. I think for those of us that kind of are in the frame of mind of like, I want to make $1,000 a week every week with consistency. I want this to be predictable. I want to be able to count on, my trading to pay my bills. We don't really usually feel comfortable getting just like 3 great trades a year. We have to kind of perform every single day. So anyways, all of that is to say that it's hard for me to trade these. Well, it's hard for me to day trade them, and it's hard for me to buy and just hold. But I recognize that that's been, what's been popular. So if we look at the continuation scanner here, a lot of these stocks, FFIE, this was a multi-day run. I mean, this was wild. This thing went from, a 10 cents a share, 20 cents a share, whatever, all the way up to $4. And then we had, all these others that jumped along on the ride. Sympathy momentum. We did have some Chinese stuff going on this week. Last week we had CTNT that did a just absolutely unreal move where it dropped. Well, so it had this move here where it popped up, dropped down, sold off to like $2, and then rallied all the way up to $45 a share, and then goes back to $2. This is just that Chinese, stuff. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. SWIN, same thing. These Chinese stocks have made a name for themselves, and it's not a particularly good one. Sold off, bounced back up, sort of tried to squeeze out shorts, and then does the real sell-off. Nice bounce, but then, just... I just wonder when regulators are going to do something about this. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it just is an ongoing issue. And look, I have no problem, riding the momentum on the upside when these are squeezing. I did trade CTNT after hours as it squeezed from $20 up to $40 a share. And, I made some money on that. So I'll trade the volatility, but having a stock drop 90% in one day is not good for the market. It's not good for confidence in the market. Having a stock go up 90% in one day, well, that's the American dream, right? I mean, the market's designed to go up, and that's kind of the thing. That's the expectation, is that the market will just keep going up and keep going up. So I'll just put this on auto. You start to go back and look at the big picture here, and yeah, seems like the market always goes up more or less. But that's not the case with a lot of these Chinese stocks. They go up and then they lose 90% of their value in one day, maybe more. And then after that, it's just they're done. So yeah, I don't know. Just something to be aware of. But anyway, so Chinese stocks may continue to be in play next week, but mostly probably with skepticism for most traders because of the action we saw this past week. I would still focus on stocks with floats of under 10 million shares, under 20 for sure, but under 10 has been better. If I see something like Run, not going to trade it. Something like this, not going to trade it. But the lower float stocks that are the leading percentage gainers on the day, those are the ones I'll focus on. And that was pretty much, it's always the theme, but that was certainly the theme last week, with the exception that some of these I was sort of ruling out because I thought it was, too cheap. But ACAN, ONMD, and some of the others that I traded during the week were good. And those were all stocks that were on the top of the scans. So, yeah. So anyways, let's see. Oh, this is 2019. I was going to say, wait a second. I don't remember being up 17,000 on Friday. That's 2019. That was a nice month, 94,000. But anyways, doesn't matter. So May here, 2024, 5 years later, a little bit of a smaller month, but relatively compared to that. But we still have 4 days left, and I'll be streaming bright and early for Warrior Pro members all next week, of course, and starting tomorrow morning. I'll probably come on around. I'll probably check my phone and my scans around 6:45. If things look really good, I'll probably sit down close to 7. If they don't look that interesting, I'll wait to sit down around 7:30. So that's kind of my plan for tomorrow and for the week ahead. And for the summer months, routine will be more or less the same. Sitting down each day between 7:30, trading until 10 to 11. On days when the market's really hot, I'll trade longer. On days when it's colder, I won't trade as long. And I'll try to enjoy a bit of summer, but no big plans. I don't have any travel days scheduled right now, but who knows? Maybe I'll try to squeeze something in at some point. I'm going to go to Canada at the end of August, but that's a little ways away. So anyways, if you haven't already checked out our Memorial Day sales, I hope you check them out. We've got some really nice specials going on. So if you want to spend the summer with me studying, learning more about the market, it's a great time to get started. So I hope you join us for Memorial Day sales, and I'll see you back at it first thing tomorrow morning. And as always, I'll remind you that trading is risky. My results are not typical. There's no guarantee that you'll find success, whether you trade with me or you'll learn on your own. So manage your risk, take it slow, and I'll see you back here first thing tomorrow morning for those streaming for Warrior Pro members who are tuning in for my broadcast. Okay, thanks as always for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.